In today's video, I wanted to take you behind the scenes in my Amazon business, and I wanted to share with you 5 items that I purchased from eBay to flip on Amazon. And matter of fact, I didn't even purchase these items, if I was to be perfectly honest. My virtual assistants purchased them for me on my behalf. So in the last year, I've sold over $700,000 on Amazon. I put over 6 figures cash flow in my bank account with this business. And essentially what we do is we buy undervalued items on eBay, items like books, DVDs, board games, electronics, tools, all different types of items. We buy them undervalued on eBay, and then we sell them on Amazon FBA. So today I actually wanted to go into my account and share 5 items that we purchased on eBay that we literally just purchased, and I want to analyze them with you to pretty much discover, did my team make good buys on eBay to flip on Amazon, or were they bad buys? So I'm going to share with you the exact items that we purchased on eBay. I'm going to go into Keepa. I'm going to analyze these deals. I'm going to pretty much run some projections to see how much money we could potentially make. And this is going to be a really fun video. So without further ado, smash that like button and let's get into the content. All right, guys, so let's go into my computer, and I want to share with you the 5 items that my virtual assistants purchased on eBay to resell on Amazon FBA. And I'm going to be doing this live with you guys. Normally what I do is after my team purchases items, I go in, I analyze them, I give feedback, I help them, I support them. Because when it comes to analyzing deals, and I'm sure you guys have gone through this as well, sometimes a deal on the, on the surface looks really, really good, but you don't know until you lift up the hood, until you dive into all the data on Keepa and, run the numbers on SellerAmp. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing with you. So let's get right into things. Now, I know some people are going to want to see proof. So this is, a screenshot from January 1st, 2024 up until December 31st, 2024. So you could see in my business, I sold a little over 6,600 items in 2024, over $700,000 in profit. And my average sale per order is around $111. So I typically focus on flipping higher ticket items. In this video, I might show a few lower ticket items just because I know not everybody, is going to be able to, have the capital to buy higher ticket products. But just want to share that with you really quick so you can see that I'm actually doing this and not full of what. And I know people in the comments are going to be asking, all right, Steve, well, this is great. Thanks for analyzing the deals. It was helpful, but how are you sourcing these undervalued deals on eBay to flip on Amazon? So it's pretty simple. I use a software. I developed this about 2 years ago. I've been pretty much using it for myself for the first year, but over the last 6 months, I have released this to other people as well. So we have a small group of people who are using the software. It's called Replen Catcher. So if you want to check that out, you absolutely can. I'll put a link down below. But essentially, Replen Catcher does 2 different things. Number one, it has a live stream of over 1.6 million products that you can tap into. And all you have to do is set up a filter. So you can choose like the category you want to source, maybe DVDs. You can choose that. Maybe you want to find items that have at least a 40% ROI that make at least $10 profit. And there's other filters you could choose from as well. I'll make more videos about this in the future. But then you hit search, and essentially Replen Catcher will go out, look at these 1.6 million products, compare them to Amazon, find the ones that meet your criteria, that make money, bring them to you, and then you can pretty much analyze them yourself and pick out the winners. So that's part 1 of the software. And then part 2 is the actual Replen area, where if you have a custom list of products that you want to monitor on eBay, so say, for example, you've been thrifting or doing library sales, or you've just been selling random stuff, from flea markets or whatever. And let's just say you have like 200, 300, 400 items that you've sold on Amazon for like 60, 70, $80. And you want to monitor them on eBay to figure out like when they come about at prices that you can flip on Amazon profitably, the software will do that. Okay. So again, I'm not going to dive too much into that during this video, but just want to share that's how we are, sourcing deals, my team and I. So you can check that out, replencatcher.com, free 14-day trial. And let's get into the good stuff. All right. So here's an item that my team purchased. Right now it's February 10th at the time of this recording. Okay. And my team purchased this DVD on February 4th, 2025. We paid $33.38. You can see a screenshot on the slide right here of the actual purchase. So you know that what I'm sharing in this video are actual purchases in my business. And what I also share on all these slides is I share if it's a replen or not and when's the last time I sold it. So I actually sold this Benny Hill item 2 months ago on November 23rd, 2024 for $68.66. So this is what I like to call a replen. It's an item that I've sold before that I want to replenish. So if you sell out of an item that you've sold, you want to find it again. But if you thrift or do garage sales, flea markets, it's really hard because you could only source what's available. The great thing about eBay is there's hundreds of millions of products, and the likelihood of you finding an item that you've sold before is actually very, very high, especially with best offers. Even if an item is maybe, say, for example, this Benny Hill, you want to source it for $35 or less. There might be 7 of them on eBay, all at 45, 46, 47. But on eBay, you can make those glorious best offers. And that's how we actually source over 50% of our deals, is by finding them with Replen Catcher and then making best offers. Half the time we're able to just source it directly because it's at a price that is acceptable for us. The other half, we typically make best offers. Okay. So we bought this for $33.38. All right. So I have sold this before. This is a picture of the item that I purchased. And what I include on each one of these purchases is the actual ASIN. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click into that, and then I want to analyze this to see, was this a good deal that my team purchased? Okay. I have 2 virtual assistants in the Philippines. I actually hired them using a website called Onlinejobs.PH. So I'll link that up on the screen. Great website to find fantastic virtual assistants for as little as $4 or $5 an hour that can help you to do all different types of things in your business. Okay. So let's click into this and let's analyze this. So I paid $33.38. And I am going to pull up the sales page right now. And I'm using a tool called SellerAmp. You see it pop up on the left-hand side. And what I use this tool for is primarily to analyze my deals to see how much ROI and see how much profit I'm actually going to make. Now, keep in mind, if you run these numbers on SellerAmp, your ROI and profit might be a little bit higher because inside of my settings, I add $2 extra for pretty much like an expense for my virtual assistants. It kind of costs my team like about $2 per item to source after I divide the amount of items purchased versus what I pay my team salary. So I put in $2 expense for sourcing, and then I add another $2 expense for my prep center. So I use Little Owl Prep. So after my team purchases all the items, we don't ship them to my house anymore. About 13 months ago, I stopped receiving all inventory and I ship them directly to my prep center in Ohio. So they receive the items, they inspect them, they make sure that, everything's all good. And then when we get enough items to send out a shipment, they do the shipment for me essentially. Okay. So let's run the numbers. I paid $33.38. And I could see that the buy box right now is $69.79, but I don't trust what the buy box is. I want to take a look at where's the current market. So I could see there's an FBM seller at 69. Then the FBA is at 69, and then there's another one at 72. So that's a really, really good sign so far. Now, what I want to do now is I want to scroll down to the Keepa chart. And this is what I always do before I purchase an item, is I take a look at the history. Now, I'm going to remove pretty much everything off of this Keepa chart so I could break this down for you really, really easily. So the first thing that I like to add to my Keepa chart is sales rank. So every one of these green drops is a day that had at least one sale. So I know that this is selling consistently. Okay, I'm going to take that off for the time being. Now, since this is a new DVD, when I'm looking at the selling history, I want to look at what is the buy box price? Like, what's the history of the buy box? What are the items selling for? What are other sellers selling it for at the buy box? And it's this little pink, I guess it's a pink, it's funny. Fun fact, I'm actually slightly colorblind. So sometimes I'm like, is that purple or pink? But this looks pink. Help me out down below. This is the history of the new buy box sellers right here. And you can see it's ranging anywhere from 60 to 72, 72. I could see the different sellers on it. So this consistently is selling for around, anywhere from, I'd say 66 upwards to about 74. And if I really wanted to dive in deep, I can click data. And I could go into buy box statistics and I could take a look over the last 30 days and I could see who's winning the buy box. You see these check marks? Those are FBA sellers. Since I'm an FBA seller, that's what I'm going to be looking at. So I can see this person right here, 71.67, 72.84. Let's open this up over 90 days. Look at all these sellers who won the buy box and they're not on the listing anymore. So what do you think that means? It means they sold their item. 66, 71, 66, 66, 67. So, this item right here, I could probably sell it right now for $69.79. So I'll put that in $69.79. And keep in mind that I have $4 in additional fees coming out here. So with those fees, after paying my virtual assistants, after Amazon fees, after my prep center, 46% ROI, $15 profit. And this item should probably sell fairly quickly because there's not a ton of competition. It is selling around 9 times per month, according to SellerAmp. The best seller rank is 61,000. So this was a really, really good pickup. I am very, very happy with this item right here. So big shout out to Jane Urgia. I'm not sure who purchased this, although I could reference my master sheet to double check that. But yeah, really, really great find right there. This is a good pickup. And let's move on to purchase number 2. All right, so here we are, purchase number 2. This is another item that my team purchased. And as you can see, this is on February 5th. We paid $60 in total for this item. And if you're wondering, like, if these products are new or used, 99% of the items that I purchase are new. I have flipped quite a few of used products, but the reason I do mostly new nowadays is, number one, I feel like it sells quicker. Number 2, I use a prep center and I love my prep center. I think Little Olive Prep is a fantastic prep center, but I don't trust any prep center to have to inspect my used items. Maybe books is fine, but like used electronics and used tools and like maybe collectible board games, I wouldn't necessarily trust them. So that's why I do mostly new. And this is a new poker game, big screen poker. I believe this is by Radica. Yeah, Radica. And this is 2005 right here. We paid $60. And if you take a look, we have sold this before. September 18th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 2024. We sold this for $108. And you can see in my custom SKU down here from my previous sale, I had paid $58 before and sold it for $108. I don't know what the profit would be on that, but let's run the numbers on this. So we paid $60 and this is out the door with shipping. So let's click into the ASIN. Let's have the sales page pop up and let's run the numbers on this and let's take a look at what we could possibly sell this for. So right here, you notice there's no buy box. The reason is because the buy box is suppressed, which is pretty common on slower selling listings such as this right here. But I've sold this before multiple times, so I'm not worried about it being a 785,000 rank. And matter of fact, I'm not worried that there's no sales rank on it. If you take a look at estimated sales, there is a sales rank, but there's not an estimated amount of sales, probably because it's maybe only selling like less than 1 time per month. But I'm not concerned with that. Why? Because this is a replen. This is an item that I've sold before. So let's take a look at the market right now. We can see that there's one person at 109, then 115, then 129. So that's the current market. A little bit of a slower seller. If I open up the sales rank, you can see since September, it's sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe like 12, 13 times. If I take a look at the last 3 months, it's sold like 3 or 4 times, but it really hasn't sold in almost a month and a half. But I'm fine with that. These are items that are discontinued. These are items that are hard to come across. And I just love Radica. I sell Radica all the time. So we paid $60. I could sell it for $109.99, but I'd probably go second in line at $114 because I would let that person sell out and I'm willing to wait a little bit longer. So according to these numbers right here, that's a $28 profit, 47% ROI. And I can tell you right now, this item is 100% going to sell. It might take a month and a half. It might take 3 months, but even if it takes 3 months on an item like this, turning $60 into, almost 50% ROI, an additional $30 profit, I'll take that all day long. I love investing in index funds. I love investing in real estate, but, an item like this, almost, 50% ROI in probably 2-3 months, I'll take that all day long. So if we go into data, buy box statistics, let's take a look at the last 365 days. You can see that people have been winning the buy box and most likely selling like LK products right here, won it for $112.59. Are they still on it? No, they're gone. So they probably sold it for 112, another person at 106, another person at 100. That's pretty low. We got 103, 128. I think I sold this in the past for over $130 a while ago, but the market does change. If we take a look at the buy box history on this item, let's take a look over the last year. So you can see that this is ranging anywhere from about $100 up to about $130 right here. Again, 130 right there. So this is a really good pickup. This is an item that's not going to sell instantly, but definitely a really good pickup. So with that being said, let's move on to flip number 3. All right. So this is purchase number 3. It's not a flip yet. I haven't flipped it yet. These items haven't, they probably haven't even checked in yet. They're still probably sitting at my prep center, getting ready to get shipped out to Amazon, which could take, 5 to 10 days to hit the prep for them to receive it, inspect it, get enough items for a shipment. But, in any event, this is a Transformers item right here. This is the first time that I've bought it, so I don't have any history of selling this exact Transformer. This is the Starscream version 72. There's a lot of different models and variations for these Transformers. I sell a ton of Transformers. Yes, you will need to get ungated if you're not able to sell Hasbro. I am. But in any event, I paid $80 for this item thanks to one of my virtual assistants. This is brand new. And of course, before you ever buy an item on eBay, go through the pictures, read the description, read the title, make sure it's new, make sure it's sealed, make sure it's not dented or smashed up right here. But this item was $80. And let's see if this was a good deal, because that's a lot of money for an item. So already off the bat, you can see that this item right here, the buy box is $176.99. Now, it doesn't mean I could sell it for that. But let's go and let's analyze the market. So you could take a look. There's only one FBM seller right here for $184.98. If we take a look at the history, you can see there's a lot of green drops. This thing is selling pretty consistently. And it's been a little bit slow recently, but that's fine. I'm sure it'll pick back up again. And you can see right here that there is a buy box. There's actually, there's no buy box from about April to end of October. And why is that? It looks like the buy box was suppressed, maybe because there was no FBA sellers. There actually were only a few sellers. Maybe there was just FBM and Amazon didn't want to give the buy box to them. But in any event, you can see the buy box started coming about and being tracked on Keepa around November. And you could see 139, 149, 150, up to 175. Right now, looks like Global Collectibles at 152. Are they still on the listing? No, they're gone. So they most likely sold this for probably 152. Let's open up the data right here. Let's take a look at the history of this over the last 180 days. Ozone Toys, and I'm looking at the check marks because I'm looking at FBA. Ozone Toys, 134. A-Dub, 151. 153. 152. Let's go back to the price history and let's look over the last couple of years. I want to see, holy smokes, look at this. Wow. Okay, so in 2024, this was only selling for around 50, and then all of a sudden, something happened. Was Amazon on the listing? Let's take a look. I bet you they were. No, they came off in 2022. So that's interesting. So Amazon came off the listing in 2022, and then it looks like FBA sellers kind of jacked up the price a little bit. And look, you could see the stock. If you look all the way down at the bottom at the offer count, 12, 11, 10, 9, it looks like the inventory really, really went down. And maybe this is a collectible toy. Most likely, maybe people collect this. Maybe it's rare. The price skyrocketed. Now, I don't love jumping onto listings like this just because it hasn't been a ton of time since that price got jacked up. Well, I guess it's almost a year now. I have sold a lot of Transformers for 100, 200. Even I've sold Transformers, not even kidding, over $500. There's a really rare one that I flipped a couple of times. But yeah, so this is interesting. There's a history around 130 up to 184. And what did I pay for this? $80. So already off the bat, I don't love this pickup, to be honest with you. The reason is I haven't sold it before. So this is a lead. This isn't a replen. I classify every item that I purchased that I've never sold before as a lead. I don't know if it's going to sell. Obviously I could run my numbers and look at the Keepa chart, but I've never sold this before. $80 right here. And you could take a look that, there is a history of people selling it for 160 up to 175, but I like to be conservative. This actually hasn't been selling much, maybe because there's been no FBA sellers on the listing. And it looks like when an FBA seller does come on, boom, Look, A-Dub sold 137, 152. So even if I could only sell this for 137, which I still think is low, let's see if that's a good deal. That's a 33% ROI. That's a $26 profit. But for me, I really like to hit that 50%, 60% ROI mark. Now, again, I've never sold this before, this specific one. It's not a super fast seller. It's not slow. It's a 316,000 rank, 9 sales per month. But, this is like probably the worst case scenario, sell it for 137. But right now, look at the market. It's at 184. Of course, there is always a risk of getting a high pricing error, but I think more realistically, probably 149.99, which brings it to about a 46% ROI, $37 profit. Maybe, probably when I jump on the listing, I'm probably going to put it up here at like 184.99 and match the buy box. If all works out and everything goes perfect, that's a $66 profit. But I never like to run my numbers thinking that I'm going to get the top of the line. Everything's going to work perfect, because it's not how it works. Sometimes you win. Sometimes, you kind of get the bottom of the barrel, right? You're not able to sell it for as much as you think you are. So I always like to be conservative with my numbers. So I would say this is a decent buy, not my favorite, but I guess time will tell if this is a good purchase or not. Let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are. And let's move on to purchase number 4. All right, purchase number 4 is another item that I've never sold before. This is Sci-Fi Fever 20 film collection. Paid $15.78 on eBay for this item on February 4th. So this is another recent purchase. Okay, first time buying this item, brand new, sealed. Let's go in and analyze this deal. I paid, we'll just call it $16. So let's go in and let's analyze this. So you can see that the buy box is at $37.97. So, okay, my number's already in there. Let's take a look at the market right now. So I could see that there's a person that jumped in at 31.10. NC Flippers undercutting the whole market, which is interesting because FBA and the lowest merchant was at 37. So I might have to ignore that lowest offer. But before we do, let's take a look at the history of this ASIN to see what we could probably realistically sell it for. So I'm seeing FBM at 32. There was an FBA seller that came in at 27, 32. Looks like Recycle Hunter, 37.98. Are they on it still? No, they're gone. So they probably sold it at 38 bucks. 38, 39. It looks like people are selling this for 38, 39. Even this person, Used Book Depot, 47.98. And I don't see them on the listing anymore. So they probably sold this for 47. That's interesting. Let's go into the buy box statistics. Let's take a look at the last 90 days. There's a lot of people selling this because they're not on the listing anymore. 37, 46, 31, 37, 45. I think that I could probably get 37.97 if I match the buy box. So 37.97 after all my expenses and everything. This is about a 46% ROI. Not spectacular. Only $7 profit. 86,000 rank in DVDs. And when it comes to DVDs, I typically like to be around 30 to 100,000 rank. I'd say 30 to 80,000 sales rank is my sweet spot. Yes, I have sold DVDs up to 300,000 rank, but that's mostly from thrift stores. I'm not going to spend $15 to flip a DVD for 30, 40 bucks. That's going to take 6 to 8 months to sell. This will probably sell, if I had to guess, in a month or less. There's not a ton of competition. Selling 4 times a month. I'm sure I'll win the buy box. So just an okay flip, nothing special, but these are the types of flips that, everybody can do. And if you don't have a prep center and virtual assistants, you actually wouldn't have as many expenses. You wouldn't have $4 in extra fees. You'd make $11 profit, 96% ROI. So, this is not a bad DVD flip or purchase. I don't flip a lot of low ticket items like this, but not bad. Let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are. And let's move on to purchase number 5. So purchase number 5 is an item that is the brand Brother. This is in the office category on eBay. I guess you could call this electronic if you wanted to, but it's more of like an office item right here. This is, I think it's a label printer. Yeah, so it's a PT80 labeling system. You can see that I actually sold this item 2 weeks ago. I paid $68 for this December 1st. You can see in my SKU, I always track what I pay, where it could ship to my prep center, and who sourced it. So Jane sourced this in December. We had sold this 2 weeks ago for $116, which is nice. That's like a a good double, I would say. Probably made 30 bucks profit on that. So I've sold this before. So this is a replen. So what did we do? We replenished this inventory. We picked it up for $59.95, a brand new sealed on eBay. So let's run the numbers and see if this is still selling for around $116. Okay. So what I paid for this again, I paid $59.95. So I'll say that I paid 60 bucks for this out the door with shipping. So I'm going to put that in the seller amp. You can see the buy box is at $119.99. There's only one seller on this right now, and it's an FBM seller. This is a good sign. We might be able to sell this for more. If you take a look at the history, it looks like it's selling for, actually, let's go into data. I like going to the buy box statistics better. 125.96, 127. Yeah, I bet you I could sell this for $129 all day long. $129.99 is what I would list this for. $50 profit, about $49 profit, 82% ROI. This is an item, of course, if you're a newer seller, I hate to say it, Amazon's probably going to restrict you and gate you. So you would have to, maybe go to a website like adorama.com. I think that's ADORAMA, something like that. I have a video on my YouTube channel that shares like how to get ungated in, I think, Canon and a couple other office products. I'm sure you could use that website as well to get ungated. But in any event, yeah, you're probably going to have to get ungated. But if you are able to sell Brother, I love flipping Brother items. This is a killer pickup right here. I don't even have to analyze this much just because, it's selling 9 times a month, 200,000 rank in the office products category, brand new sealed. All day long. I love flipping items like this. So I can tell you right now, this was a pretty successful sourcing venture, I would say, based on these 5 items. Big shout out to Jane and Gia. And let me know down below, who here is flipping items from eBay to Amazon? I'd be very curious to know. All right, so there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing 5 items that my virtual assistants purchased in my eBay to Amazon flipping business. And if you guys want to get started sourcing items from eBay to Amazon, my best advice would be to check out Replen Catcher. You can try Replen Catcher for 14 days for free. And the cool thing about Replen Catcher is it's very fast. It's super simple, easy to use. There's a free 14-day trial. I would say probably 80% of the people who become users of Replen Catcher, they pay off 6 to 12 months worth of the software during the free trial because there's just so many deals to be had on eBay. And especially if you go the extra mile and you make best offers on products, you can make an absolute killing flipping items like books and DVDs and board games and electronics and, all different types of items, video games. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, show some love, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.